So this package tour was the Beatles' third such tour in 4 months, and I have blogged the other two. In February, coming first, they opened for Helen Shapiro, and all the advertising materials just mentioned Love Me Do. And then in March, they went out with Chris Montez and Tommy Roe, and the ad materials mentioned Please Please Me. And since that was such a big hit, trouble was already brewing for the headliners. And then you jump to May, the Beatles have #1 single and album at the same time. And boy, I'll tell you, what must have seemed like a safe booking just a couple of months ago, putting American superstar Roy Orbison at the top of the bill, even though he's not at the top of the poster, he was considered the headliner with the full bottom stripe there. I mean, he had 4 top 10 hits in England so far, and he had the cachet of being from America. So this was sort of like a tour that would work out, but oh man, the Beatles just swamped him, quickly assuming the show closing spot. And you got to think they might have felt a little guilty about that because they just, they admired Roy Orbison, but you go by the audience reaction, and the audience demanded that the Beatles close the show. Nobody, of course, in their right mind would want to follow them by this point. But, when you say by this point, the Beatles were still pretty darn young and innocent, no doubt about it. They opened these shows. On this tour, the set list was pretty set, if you will. Some Other Guy was their opening track they played. And, of course, Beatles scholars know that as being the famous clip from the Cavern Club, the black and white grainy thing that is the earliest known moving footage of the Beatles as a group. So, the set consisted of only 7 songs, in fact. Just crazy back then, right? So they performed, naturally, their 3 singles, Love Me Do, Please Please Me, and From Me to You, and 3 tracks from their new album, right? I Saw Her Standing There, Do You Want to Know a Secret, and Twist and Shout. And the aforementioned Some Other Guy makes 7. So, if that track list sounds kind of quaint, and of course it does, their first singles and their first album, well, in about a month's time, the Beatles would record She Loves You, and everything, I don't need to tell you, would change forever. So as not to disrespect the other 6 acts on the poster, I'll go ahead and read them off. You've got MC Tony Marsh in the lower left, then you've got Erky Grant, Ian Crawford, and the Terry Young 6 in smaller boxes, and they never showed up on the charts in England, but I don't know which ones. May have been jazz musicians or comedians or something. And then you've got the larger strips there in the center for the 2 singers who had charted. They had each enjoyed 1 top 20 hit in their career, which came, of course, before this tour, and we're talking about England's David Macbeth and France's Louise Corday. So, this tour would continue until, about 10 more days until June 9th. So I'm real quickly going to show you a handbill version of this. That's the one thing I haven't shown you yet from June. June 3rd to be exact, and this of course is very much an enlargement of a very small handbill, and it's complete with a postal booking slip along the right hand side there. And once again, just like that small window card, this very small handbill, notice it uses the floating heads instead of the one complete picture. Boy, I'll tell you, for original Beatles concert memorabilia, it doesn't get any bigger, grander, or more historic than this. Wow, what a pleasure and an honor to show it to you today. Thanks a lot for dropping by, and we'll see you again for something soon. Take care.